Okay, so we've gone ahead and done the connections there on the main lead here, and we've gone ahead and soldered in the head. So we've got 100 ohm, 150 ohm resistor going to the head here. And I said the insulation, you notice I may not be insulating. What I'm going to do is actually insulate it after it's assembled, probably with hot glue, because hot glue makes a pretty good insulator. Let's get right down to it. So we're going to hook this up now to the 4.5 volt battery box. And there we go, heads light up. I also realized I need to get a resistor between this lead here and the KFF. So I've got two choices for that. I can either desolder these wires from the plate and put a resistor in there, or I could cut this wire in half on the back of it and put the resistor in there. And I haven't decided which way I'm going to go quite yet. So fortunately I am able to do a lot of this assembly outside of the body. So this will just all go in, slide into here when it's time. There's the head, goes mount straight there, and then I will be able to solder up the 3 volt line, and then when I'm ready I'll be able to slide this down, slide the head down on top, get the magnets lined up, glued in, and run the wires out. So right now what I'm going to do is go ahead and glue these side pieces on and let them set up for a little bit, and then I'm going to start running wires for the 3 volt LEDs. So we'll be back. Okay, I'm back and making darn good progress. So what I did was I actually took just one wire, one loop of wire, and so I soldered it here on this side, and then I cut out two other places, soldered it to this one and soldered it to this one, and then finally into the feed lines. So there's just one loop with two taps on it that feeds all three of these LEDs. And so then I also got this thing soldered in on its own taps, just like positive and negative taps here with a different resistor. So yeah, the wiring's coming along real nicely. One thing I forgot to mention though was magnetizing the chest gun. So all I did was take one of these pieces of metal, the galvanized metal, and superglued it, trimmed it and superglued it to the back. You won't be able to see it because it's soldered in now. And I just took the guns and put a magnet on the end. So right now, I also had to trim the end of this because it's actually long, so longer than this at the back. So I had to trim that off. Now right now, these things are actually a friction fit because the plastic here is actually slightly tapered. If I can never get it in frame. The plastic on the end is tapered for a nice strong fit. So the magnets don't actually do much right now, but over time they will wear out to the point where they will do much. Or I might just file these things down so the magnet is doing the work. Yeah, so that's how we magnetized the belly gun, chest gun. It was just, I mean, it was easier than putting in a piece of plastic with a piece of metal with a magnet behind it. That way I didn't have to worry about polarity. I just stuck the magnet to the metal. And the combination of the taper and the magnet should be more than enough to hold those guns in. So yeah, our wiring is pretty much close to being done here. So all that's left to do actually is put a resistor in up here feeding the KFF, and that will be the opportunity to put the final assembly of this thing together, which is not going to be fun, but isn't going to be that hard either. So I'm going to go ahead and desolder these two wires from the pad here and put the other 100 ohm resistor in the path that goes up to the KFF. So we'll be back again. Okay, so there's the resistor there, or the KFF. So what I did was I went ahead and actually unsoldered the two wires so I could move up the main wires a little bit more and have more room to play. But now we have to do the tricky part. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to secure the negative side. We'll do this in stages. So I think we're going to secure the negative side here, glue it into place, then secure the positive side. After gluing it into place, and then once those two pieces of glue, so we don't want to put the glue between the metal. I mean, you're not going to be able to see much, I'm sorry, so you're just going to have to hear me talk about it. Hopefully I don't rip the head connections off. So what we can do is go ahead and put some glue down in there. Hold that in place. Positive lead. I think I'm going to rip it. Yeah, we need to let that set up before we do this. So that's what we're going to do. So I got the negative on there, and it's going to sit there and set up. And once that's set up, we do the positive side, and then we should be able to get everything slid back down and into position. So this is going to be tricky and time consuming, so I'm not going to leave it on do it on the film, but I'm going to be fighting with this for a little bit to get the final wiring into the model. We'll be back. Whoa boy, so sometimes plans don't work out quite as what you want to. So what I did was I ended up desoldering everything from here so I could work on it separately. So then I tried to super glue the wires into the magnets, and it didn't work because no matter what I did, the super glue would seep between the magnet and the piece of metal, breaking the contact. So I ended up having to hot glue these in, and even that didn't work very well because they really wouldn't hold while the whole hot glue was in place. So it took a few tries to get them to the point where they both hold in place and conduct electricity. So I guess the next step now, but everything seems to be okay now. Hopefully after I put it together it will keep working. So I'm going to go ahead and put this together and we'll see what the final result is, hopefully. Okay, so it actually went together pretty well, and well, not too much tassel. Nice thing about having a lot of room on the inside is that all the wires have plenty of room to just kind of squeeze in there and stuff. So I got everything soldered back together, and so the question is, does it work? Ooh, look at that. So we got the blue LED on the KFF, which is of course magnetized. The eyes, and then we got the 3 flashing LEDs on the body. Nice little switch on the battery box. Great! So then I got the 2 wires to go out to the arm. So I can finally go through and finish the assembly of the main body of the Gorkanaut. This was a lot of frustration today, especially getting the metal plates to both be glued in and have contact with the magnets on the bottom of the KFF part of it. The rest of it was pretty straightforward and just kind of working in here. If I had to do it again, I would not have glued the body together like I did. I figured there'd be plenty of room to work in it, and there was, but more room is always better. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the assembly of the main part of this kit, and then I have to go on and still have some engineering to do on the arm. Thanks for watching.